Hello everyone, my name is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to remain productive when you feel zero motivation. Listen, we all have those days where we literally feel like doing absolutely nothing. And that's human. Not everybody is gung-ho, super productive every single day, regardless of what you might think. But the truth is that sometimes we can't afford to just let a day go to waste, because that puts the next day at risk of playing catch up. So I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you to help you still remain productive even when motivation is at a complete zero. So tip number one is to make a list. Now, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I am a big fan of lists. This is the thing. When you're feeling unmotivated, it's often followed by the feeling of lack of focus. By creating a list, it does a few things for you. First off, it allows you to really prioritize the things that absolutely have to get done in this day. This is really valuable because if you're lacking motivation and you really only have it in you to get 2 or 3 things done today, then you want those 2 or 3 things that do get done to be the ones that are going to prevent you from falling behind. Not only that, but it is psychologically proving that creating a list and then checking things off of it actually creates endorphins and builds up that yes momentum, and could be the bit of a kick in the butt that you need to pull some motivation up from within and have the rest of the day be more productive. Tip number 2 is to break larger tasks down into smaller steps. Having a really big project to start on a day where you feel extremely unmotivated can also bring on a strong sense of overwhelm. The idea of having to take on something big or many different things when you just don't have it in you is like so hard. I completely understand that. So I recommend, along the lines of making that list, break things down into very easy steps. Again, this will help you stay focused on just what's next instead of all the other things that are weighing you down and keeping you in a state of unmotivation. Checking off those wins can be a really big step in helping a big project feel a lot smaller and a lot more digestible on those hard days. Tip number 3, and one I am incredibly passionate about, is to take breaks. Especially on the days where our brains just feel a little foggier and a little heavier, and maybe we're tired and overwhelmed, taking breaks will actually create a more productive you throughout the course of the day. Now, when I'm talking about breaks, I do encourage you to take inspired breaks. What I mean by this is maybe you choose to go for a walk. I know as someone who works from home, it is so easy for me to just use the dog as an excuse. He needs to go outside. I'll drag myself out there with him, get some fresh air, and that kind of helps clear the cobwebs of my mind. But there's other things that you can do, such as taking a small break to read a good book or listen to an inspiring podcast. Or maybe you dedicate some time to taking a short nap or even fitting in a meditation. I also encourage you to drink some water, because dehydration will certainly play a big part in making you feel down. What I don't want you to do on your breaks, and I highly encourage you to just avoid it, is to do things that really drain your energy. Especially as someone who works from home, it's really easy to just take a break, sit in front of the TV, and watch a quick show. The challenge with that is sometimes a show becomes 2, becomes 3. And it's funny, when you sit on the couch it is so hard to find any motivation to get up and be productive after that. Tip number 4, create a schedule. Now, I encourage everyone to have some kind of schedule that they use for their workday on motivated and unmotivated days. However, having a schedule, especially on the unmotivated days, allow you to just go with the flow, follow the paces, just kind of float through the day, getting things done methodically, and you can kind of, more so disconnect from the work and just have a get it done mentality on the days where you don't feel motivated. It's okay to not always be okay and not always be excited for the day and excited for the workload ahead. But having everything laid out ahead of you before you even start the day can help you at least get things done and go through the paces to at least try and be as productive as possible. Having a schedule also allows you to buy the grace that you need to rest. Which brings us into tip number 5, which is to find inspiration. Finding inspiration can really be the fuel that you need to re-inspire yourself to find the motivation that you need. Whether this be that you do some journaling to reflect on the goals that you are working towards and why you are needing the drive and motivation to get things done. It could be looking up inspiring quotes, doing a meditation, chatting with a mentor, or just surrounding yourself in a positive environment that really supports you during these difficult times. Oftentimes, simply focusing on the long-term goal and the vision that you have will help you get through the more challenging days that are to come. So I hope that these tips were tremendously helpful and that they help you grind through the days where you just don't feel as productive and motivated as you'd like. In saying this, I also think it's very important that we become aware of the signs of burnout. Burnout can often and very easily be shown through a lack of motivation. And oftentimes, while it's okay to have 1 or 2 unmotivated days, if you find that you are unmotivated for longer periods of time, it's really important to reflect on how burnout might be affecting your day-to-day. In cases like this, it is so important that you prioritize your mental and physical health and to take the time that you need to recover and reevaluate your schedule to be something that is more in line with your capacity. I really hope that these tips help you moving forward in finding your motivation. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.